All right, welcome one and all to the Rocker Dogcast, the only show that amplifies the stories of musicians and their beloved dogs. I'm your host, Tim Dill, alongside my oxytocin dealer, Charlie the Golden Doodle, and today we are happy to be talking with Elena Cataraga, who is also known as Lena Scissorhands, lead singer of the Eastern European metal band Infected Rain, who you can catch in their last live show of 2026 on October 24th at Full Metal Holiday on the Spanish island of Majorca. And this is her life-saving rocker dog.
Her name is Luna. She's a miniature schnauzer, and she's 7 years and a half. She's a touring dog. She's a service animal as well. And yeah, she's my best friend.
I can't wait to get into all of that. First off, if we go back 7.5 years, I guess we're 2019.
Yeah.
I think it was the springtime, maybe.
No, she was born the end of January, but I got her when she was 2 months old.
Okay. And around that time in your life, what was going on that instigated you adopting her?
It's very interesting because I was actually against having animals because I love animals very, 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 very much. And it is quite difficult for me to imagine having a pet and abandon the pet because I need to travel or because I need to do the things I need to do. You know, it's quite difficult to imagine that. So for me, especially after I moved to United States, it was like a no-no because of my career choice, because of my lifestyle, because of many, many things. If I would work from home, I would have probably a whole house full of rescued animals, but that's not the case. Now, at the time, my boyfriend, he was feeling quite lonely when I was gone on tour. And that was his idea. I decided to pull the trigger because there was a person to take care of the animal when I was traveling. And I was quite sure that that was, the right way to do in that moment. Now, unfortunately, that relationship ended after 2 months of us getting the dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a 5-year relationship. In this case, he offered to, babysit the dog or take the dog completely, knowing my schedule and my lifestyle. In the beginning, it sounded like a good idea. And I believe even the first tour that same year, that's what I did in between him and some of my friends. And then it was just not right to me, just the way, the dog was always alone at home because, he would do long hours at work and so on. I didn't like that for the dog. And I just took the dog fully, and he was super happy to get rid of that responsibility. But I think that was like the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me because this dog was instantly attached to me from day one, and I was as well. Her name is Luna, and Luna was always very sensitive towards me. And she has a way to understand me. I don't think that I have ever even had some people understand me the way Luna does. And unfortunately, I developed a disability with time, with COVID getting involved and everything. And slowly this started being a problem for me traveling and actually performing and singing even. Because it was physically very, very difficult. So one of the suggestions of the doctor was to try and train Luna to help me with my disability. Mm-hmm. So we did a very special school with very special lessons, which are meant both for the owners of the dogs and the dogs themselves. We created a bond like I've never even thought existed. And it's almost terrifying because it's so close that it's a necessity. Sometimes, right, more than anything, I can't be away from her for too long because of that as well. Luna, she literally saved my life a couple of times. And she, most importantly, alerted me in advance about certain things that were happening with my body. They can sense that. They are trained to sense that. So, yeah, so since we successfully finished this special school, and she was trained specifically to help with my situation, she's been a touring dog and she's a very essential element in our touring. The band loves her so much. She has a lot of babysitters and a lot of friends, and all the fans love her. And yeah, this is Luna.
That's amazing. What a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I mean, it does explain. I do have one little quote that you call her my little protector.
Yeah.
And did anything happen recently? Recently, you had a post. This is in March, and you said no one will ever hurt you again.
Yes, something really unfortunate happened connected to a travel. Actually, I was traveling to start a huge tour, which started in the UK and continued in Europe and then ended in the United States. Normally, when I travel with Luna, despite her documentation of her being a service animal, she also has to, of course, go through a lot of tests and health inspections, so
Yeah.
on. And each country is very unique. So every time I go on tour, I go with a list of countries I'm going through at the veterinarian. Together, we give the dog everything that those countries require, and then we prepare this so-called international health certificate. Basically, my veterinarian sends everything to the Ministry of Agriculture, which endorses a very specific document by saying that they clear this animal and this animal can travel, and it's been approved for all these countries. So upon arrival in the UK, it was a Sunday, and because it was a Sunday, the main chief in charge of these things connected to animals wasn't there. They decided to keep my dog there, despite the fact that the dog is a service animal and it should never legally be separated by its owner unless there's something I've done wrong, which there was nothing I've done wrong. And they literally told me that they keeping the dog because there's no one to clear the dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, they took the dog and gave the dog back to me only on a Tuesday. But it was the hardest time of my life, and in 7.5 years, I was never away from my dog, especially since she became a service animal. So yeah, not only all of that, but also they charged insane amount of fee for keeping her against my will in their facility. They didn't even allow me to say goodbye to her and
Yeah.
to talk to her and explain that I'll be back. She was crying, of course. It was very, very difficult for me.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It does sound like a lapse in their judgment. You're an experienced flyer with a pet.
Yeah, I flew to the same country a year prior and I showed them with this what documents and everything I brought to the same country.
Well, on a brighter note, as an experienced flyer with a dog, musician touring with a dog, what advice would you have to other musicians who want to do the same?
Do it. Go for it. Because the more people travel with their pets, the more normalized this will be and the more accepted it will be.
Yeah, like you explained, she's with you all the time as a musician in the studio, on tour, venues, restaurants, other public places. Has she ever been turned away?
Well, yes, of course, I've had many issues in other countries. She still is turned down in other countries, like in restaurants or certain, supermarkets. But I want to say that there are some countries that are more pet friendly than others. It really warms my heart to see all this news about how Italy right now is allowing dogs everywhere in every restaurant, and it's normalizing having your dog with you. But yes, I was turned down many times just because I was with my dog. And just so you guys know, my dog is cat-sized dog, and the majority of the time she is in this little carrier that is attached to me like a little kangaroo pouch for one specific reason, because she has to be closer to my heart.
Yeah.
She's trained to travel that way, so she's never bothering anyone. She doesn't bark for no reason. But it is quite difficult because a lot of places that do say they are pet friendly, they will try charging you extra and so on. So yeah, we still live in a world where traveling or having your animal, and even in a just vacation, or in a hotel room with you is a big deal.
Yeah. Now, the tattoos, I understand Luna is somewhere, I think, on your leg.
Yes.
At what point did you know I'm going to get a tattoo of Luna? And what was the creative process to actually design it and pick the pose and the style?
So I knew right away that I wanted a tattoo of my baby, of my friend, because she's everything all together. She's like a baby, she's like a friend, she's like a companion, like all of it in one little creature. And as I said, there wasn't really many people that I could call all of that for me. And I know that a love of a dog is very unconditional and it's very different, and people are completely different than that. But I knew that in a way I would like to have her with me forever. And I spoke with my tattoo artist that is working on my legs, and I was like, look, I can send you a bunch of photos and you can transform her or make your own version of her. I will know it's her. And he's like, you know what, bring her, I'll take some photos as well, because she often comes with me to get tattooed as well, because she's, again, hypoallergenic, so she doesn't lose hair and it's not a danger for the environment, for other people, or anything like that. So he took some photos and we just went with a profile photo of her. She has this cool beard, and we just like emphasize a little more for the fur and add some colors. And yeah, it was just like a creative process kind of together. I like giving this freedom to the tattoo artists, and I think he did a fantastic job.
I agree. From what I saw, it looks very cool. Very cool. Now, back, I think in May, there was a video posted. I think you were on tour in Spain, and it was three things that define you. And the first thing you said was not losing the innocence of your of childhood, or
Yeah,
keep your inner child.
yeah.
And you mentioned, stay playful, careless, boyish. And I'm curious, does Luna also inspire that? Because that's very, I think
Oh,
what I
totally.
love about a dog is they
Yeah.
they never lose that joy of being alive, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. She's insanely playful, just like she was in the beginning. Like, I don't feel like she's 7.5, even though that's not a big number. But still, some people can feel the changes through years. I don't. I think that she's still super playful, and I love that about her, because not only she's playful, with her playfulness, she often like distracts me from the certain, I don't know, thoughts or certain situations, or it's just a good break to just like pause live and dedicate even 5 minutes of throwing that ball. How much joy when she brings the ball back and jumps around asking for more.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I also posted, I remember, a video on my story years ago, telling people how important it is to feel present and to ground yourself, because often we get lost in our emotions and in our thoughts, in our situations, me included, all of us. It's just part of life. And how much I learned from my dog, actually, because she looks me in the eyes, she looks through my eyes in my soul, and she's so present. If I'm not, she brings me to presence with like just a small little gesture of her paw often. It's so curious, because more and more with her age, I notice more and more of myself in her, because they copy us so much. And again, I hope that I learn from her as well, and that's why I invite people to learn from their pets.
Well, I wind down every show with what I call the zoomies, and that's just the last five questions. Sometimes they go fast as the zoomies, sometimes they don't. That's irrelevant. The first question is Luna the picture on your phone's home screen?
Absolutely.
Okay. I would have bet that, but I get surprised sometimes.
And on my watch here, a proof.
That's awesome. Well, I love it. Very good. All right, question two. Does Luna have a theme song?
No, she doesn't. But we often, I mean, I often love to pick her up and dance with her when we listen to Queen.
Any song in particular?
Any song, really. Queen is just one of my favorite. There's a portrait of
Oh,
Freddie.
Freddie.
Yeah. So whenever I need like a pick me up band or song, I always go with Queen.
Okay. Question three, you tour with the dog. Do you ever put anything on a tour rider for Luna?
Never. Honestly, I am very grateful for people accepting and not giving me trouble for that. Some venues actually have their own pet there because the owner or people that work there often bring their own pet, and that's amazing. We often have playtime or, at least just a small little meeting of the dogs. Some festivals surprise me with little treats for Luna because they always know after all these years that I travel with her, and they would like leave a little bowl with water waiting in the backstage already prepared. It's really really nice.
All
Yeah.
right. Question four, do you have a dog voice?
I think I used to in the beginning before we did our training. I think she was super tiny because she was so small and so cute, and I would like use this little different voice with her. But then right after that, like first year, and when things started happening more and more, and I started seeing her from a different perspective, not as a little baby anymore, but as a very present friend and help in my life, and so on later on with the school and everything. I changed that. I still baby her a lot, but I don't really change my voice like I did in the very beginning.
Okay, that makes sense. And last but not least, question five, would you like to give a shout out to anybody who does good for dogs, whether that's a service, organization, or individual?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for helping dogs. Thank you so much for loving dogs. And thank you so much for bringing awareness. And I try my best to help. And in these occasions where I see certain things like that, that organizations are, fighting for something for the dog's rights, or they are fighting for some certain justice or certain waivers, I try to participate as much as I can. I am a big lover of animals in general, so that's not just about dogs. For example, I have a very, very special place in my heart for an animal sanctuary here in Las Vegas that has all kinds of animals, and I love that very much. So I love helping, and I just want to say thank you because it's not easy. It's a lot of work, and finding time and prioritizing animals over so many other things out there is brilliant, is beautiful, and it deserves praise. So I'm so grateful that these people exist. My sister is one of them. She helps in Italy with a lot of animals as well. And yeah, I wish I had more time to do that because that's exactly what I would do if I wasn't a musician.
And that's All Friends Animal Sanctuary.
Yes, All Friends Animal Sanctuary. Thank you. You've done your homework.
And you recently did a 2026 calendar for them as a fundraiser?
Correct. So I started doing calendars around 2019, I want to say. It was something that fans insisted that I started doing. And I loved the tradition, and I collaborated with different photographers and did it in different themes. And this year I wanted to celebrate the animals at All Friends Animal Sanctuary. I wanted to give the extra shout out, extra help, and most importantly, a little bit of extra push
Yeah.
through the little ways I can, through the social media numbers, through the through the connections that I've got over the years. So yeah, it's very beautiful, and I love that calendar so much. Every page, every month has its own animal, and it was such a beautiful day shooting. They are the best models. It was difficult to choose photos. They are the best.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. The photography is great. The styling is great. That said, I'll have to get one.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Lena, thank you so much for taking the time to take me through Luna's story and your story. And thank you for all you do for the animals. I know you're a big fan, as you said, and that goes a long way for someone in your position.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking about dogs, and it's important.
Carl, you're a damn good dog.